Hey, what's good, everyone? Twisted here with the Open with Sorcery, and today I want to go ahead and talk about a koan titled The Stingy Artist. Now, that particular allegorical tale has, similar reflections, similar themes with a previous koan that I've gone ahead and read, and also, given a little bit of extra footnotes to previously titled, Is That So? And in relation to it, Is That So is about assuming, and the Stingy Artist is about assuming one's intentions, what have you. So I'll go ahead and read the koan and then give a little bit of extra in regards to it, as well as some food for thought. So here we go. The Stingy Artist. Geshen was an artist monk. Before he would start drawing or painting, he always insisted upon being paid in advance, and his fees were very high. He was known as the Stingy Artist. A geisha once gave him a commission for a painting. "How much can you pay?" inquired Geshen. "Whatever you charge," replied the girl, "but I want you to do the work in front of me." So on a certain day, Geshen was called by the geisha. She was holding a feast for her patron. Geshen, with fine brushwork, did the painting. When it was completed, he asked the highest sum of his time. He received his pay. Then the geisha turned to her patron, saying, "All this artist wants is money. His paintings are fine, but his mind is dirty. Money has caused it to become muddy. Drawn by such a filthy mind, his work is not fit to exhibit. It is just about good enough for one of my petticoats." Removing her skirt, she then asked Geshen to do another picture on the back of her petticoat. "How much will you pay?" asked Geshen. "Oh, any amount," answered the girl. Geshen named a fancy price, painted the picture in the manner requested, and went away. It was learned later that Geshen had these reasons for desiring money. A ravaging famine often visited his province. The rich would not help the poor, so Geshen had a secret warehouse, unknown to anyone, which he kept filled with grain, prepared for those emergencies. From his village to the national shrine, the road was in very poor condition, and many travelers suffered while traversing it. He desired to build a better road. His teacher had passed away without realizing his wish to build a temple, and Geshen wished to complete this temple for him. After Geshen had accomplished his 3 wishes, he threw away his brushes and artist materials, and retiring to the mountains, never painted again. So, in that tale right there, pretty much, he was going ahead offering all these crazy prices, at least based on what the other people that he was painting for considered them as crazy high prices, and going ahead and charging for his fine work, or at least, maybe not as fine as, the customers and clients that he had, thought was up to par with what it was that he was charging for them. However, though, pretty much he had intentions of doing good works with said money, and that it wasn't necessarily for his own personal gain and or benefit, that he had altruistic reasoning for it. Yet from the outside looking in, he didn't necessarily outright state so, and or go ahead and present it. He kept those private motivations unto himself. So to go ahead and use the old adage that you are likely to have heard many times over, don't judge a book by its cover. And thinking about that, right, many people, or if not all people, have reasons or motivations that they keep to themselves for actions that they do, whether it be positive or negative. But just because they're hidden or private doesn't necessarily mean that they're inherently negative in of themselves, right? Just because we are ignorant of why someone does something doesn't necessarily mean that it's completely negative, what have you, and or are looking to screw someone else over, or try to go ahead and do something malicious in nature. And even if we can get the gist of what drives a person's actions, right, the likelihood is that we probably won't, with 100% clarity, know all the factors that play into decisions which are made on a momentary or even daily basis. So, and the same can go for people stating or thinking such things about what you do, depending on the individual and how judgmental they are, right? So keep that in mind as well for yourself, not just in perception towards others, but also that people may be judgmental towards you without knowing where it is that you're coming from. But I'm more so taking the approach right now in going ahead and, for the sake of those listening, to try to craft a better, conscious approach to analyzing why people go ahead and do what they do, what have you. But in continuing with this train of thought, give some thought and consideration as to why someone may do an action, good or bad. And if you have the capacity to, step into someone else's shoes and attempt to empathize with them, right? And pretty much sit there and be like, all right, if I was in the situation that they're in, if you happen to know surrounding circumstances in a person's life, go ahead and be like, all right, what would you honestly do? And once again, what would you honestly do, right? Not just trying to go ahead and just come up with something on surface face value, but more so be like, all right, if I go ahead and I'm sitting there and I'm honest with myself and I know myself truly, what would I do in that situation? Or what can I see someone else doing in that situation? Good, bad, neutral, what have you. And, just in doing this, right, if you go ahead and do it, in this particular instance for one person, you can come to a place of better understanding. And also just in repetitive doing said, contemplation and reflection and meditation on this, you can become more capable of not being as instantly judgmental towards others overall. And then, of course, hopefully, in you not going ahead and doing so, right, and or attacking people for it, if you are the type to go ahead and be judgmental and berate others in that sort of manner, you can go ahead and be able to hopefully receive that sort of thing in return, or just the general sort of thing of ripples in the pond, what have you. That if we all become more so understanding and less capable of being judgmental, and when we show it through our actions and or, changing how we address things in our statements, that over time we can go ahead and have that sort of effect where other people pick it up as well by osmosis, what have you, those around us, and so on and so forth. But yes, so in this manner, the Stingy Artist is a koan about assuming intentions and going ahead and rectifying that sort of, action when, it isn't warranted. Or you can get the gist of what someone's doing and for more so get the core of it, the crux of it. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you get the whole 360 perspective or as close to it as possible. So try to get a little more of an expanded insight into it and get the pros and the cons of a person's actions and or their motivations and reasoning behind them. So I think I pretty much went ahead and covered that. And this has been Twisted with the Open Sorcery, and stay frosty, Neguses. Peace.